What's up, America? We're going to try not to get canceled on this episode of Happy Friday, America. My name is Kevin Badstone, and I am ready to kick off the weekend with a whole lot of fun. July is gone, August is in, and we're going to get right to it. Joining me, of course, as always, sitting across the table is Arthur. Can't keep giving away all the secrets raw.
No, you got to keep it close, keep it tight, keep the mystery alive. It's fun. We're about to have a fun episode. It's a fun Friday. Let's get into this.
All right, here we go. Today in history, as always, we're kicking it off. Hard to believe. August 2nd in history. What do we got?
August 2nd, look, we have to stick with the America-themed stuff, and then we're also jumping into some World War I-themed stuff as well. But 1776 was the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was signed by 56 people. One interesting thing about this, August 2nd, is this is the date that most accepted by modern historians. So apparently there's kind of some question to when the Declaration of Independence was actually signed. I didn't realize that. So this is the most accepted date. 1798, Battle of the Nile. British Royal Navy under Admiral Horatio Nelson further decimates the French fleet. You just think about all this colonization that was happening, like the French, the Brits fighting over the Nile. I never knew about this Battle of the Nile. Some juicy kind of stuff I could go search on YouTube on this awesome platform that we love so much.
Great platform. Do you know what the source of the River Nile is?
They found it on Top Gear.
They did. Some will say that it's Lake Victoria. Some say because that's the most makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It's actually a little bit deeper into the hills and up in a rock. And James May was the first to find it.
That was a cool episode.
It was
pretty epic. If you're into cars and fun British comedy, definitely got to check out everything that they do over there.
Yes.
1858. We were talking about when the USPS was formed. Not more than a couple weeks ago. So 1858 is when the first mailboxes were installed in Boston and New York City streets. Big thanks to them. We got to get the mail around, get the news around. And 1914, August 2nd, this is a big day. So Belgian government receives German ultimatum. German press falsely reports that French have bombed Nuremberg. German troops overthrow Luxembourg. German and Turkey sign secret treaty of alliance. Great Britain mobilizes. And then the Postdam Conference ends. I'm not too sure what that is. And then also Russia troops invade East Prussia. So that all happened in 1914 on the same day, which is a lot.
It's a busy day.
That's a
really busy day.
That's a busy World War I day. And then moving 20 years into the future, 1934, Adolf Hitler becomes commander-in-chief of Germany's armed forces, and we all know how that played out. That is today in history.
That is a juicy day in history there, Art. A lot going on here on August 2nd.
It definitely is.
Well, let's keep it right moving. So, it's been 2 weeks since the assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump. And as the weeks go on, there's more information coming out about it. The investigation's underway. The Secret Service really dropped the ball, as we've learned, on communication with local police and law enforcement. Now it's at the point where social media is involved, as it always is. Google and Meta are having discrepancies with the entire thing. Meta had come forth first and said the picture that we all saw of Trump, hand up, flag, and he's got the blood on his face and shit. Meta was the first to come out and said that was misinformation. That photo was doctored and that it was not correct. Okay. We all saw it on the broadcast. We saw it happen live action. We've seen it. So it wasn't misinformation. So Meta was wrong there. And then quickly after that, Google is now not showing any of the results. So if you start typing in assassination attempt on Trump, it'll actually come up as Truman, TRU. It brings up the assassination attempt on Harry Truman, which took place in 1950. So a lot of these sources, and this was, that's now August 2nd. This was happening earlier this week. They might have, if you're just catching this now, they might have gotten some legs and gotten this fixed. But it was a big enough deal that it made Newsweek. Click the article below to read more. But the big thing here is, Art, that it's concerning that there's already censorship and essentially trying to remove it from, I don't want to say history, but limit people's resources and access to that information.
What does Meta have to gain by saying that that photo wasn't real? Like what are they just trying? I don't know. Okay, so here's my opinion on this whole thing. The fact that, and look, Trump is not one of my favorite people. I'll just start by saying that. But the fact that they try to kill him, that they're trying to hide this, and then also not allow search results to come up. Like even if you search like Trump rally, it'll like pull up a Kamala Harris rally instead.
Right.
Like weird things like that going on makes me feel like the people behind the curtain don't want Trump in, and part of me wants to see him in more because of that.
Yeah, we usually don't talk politics on the show. I mean, I'm voting for Donald Trump. That's just the way it is. Not my favorite person, not my candidate I want to get behind, but it's a candidate I am going to get behind. And just this deal is just, it's unfortunate. You know, I don't know all the moving parts. Maybe it was a discrepancy that fell between the cracks. They didn't mean for it to happen. I don't know. Because then there's the other argument that, well, the reason it's not coming up is because maybe it was a conspiracy, you know, and that's why it's not coming up, like the conspiracy of the shooting itself.
Like that it didn't happen.
That it was a false flag or it didn't happen or whatever. Maybe that's why, you know, Google wasn't showing the results. But you know, the reason I put this in this week is because I think it's just it's a good reminder of, you know, what the internet is what is capable of, the power of it, and also the ability to keep information from people, right? This is a historic event, right? We all know about JFK getting assassinated in Dallas, which is also conspiracy. Whoever, you can go back and type in certain events in time, just like we do to find today in history, and that July 13th, 2024 is going to come up today in history as an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So the fact that they're trying to, you know, Google and Meta specifically, and I think Zuckerberg has made a statement about it since. I don't know.
Yeah, because Elon was all blasting all this stuff
of course,
too. Like,
of course, Elon's competing against Meta, so of course he's going to say, you know, we're going to take these guys down and call out their nonsense. But I don't know. I just find it interesting that you know, almost 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks since the assassination attempt, they're almost trying to erase it from history if it ever even happened.
You know, it's a shame that as time continues, my trust in information continues to decrease. Like, I just don't believe much of anything that the media says or encourages me to follow, look, or listen into. Like, it's just, I understand why people don't want to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I really do, because it's ridiculous. And then how much of it is true, like what, you know, this and that, and then being creators ourselves, we've even experienced the muzzle quite a bit, and it's a little bit alarming.
Yeah, and by barely scraping the surface, right?
Yeah.
We'll just say certain words, topics, things, probably even this.
And we're not even banging like 100K views an episode. We're not even like way up there, and we're getting muzzled.
Yeah, so that's always concerning. Worth pointing out, because when they try to silence it, you know, try to bring more noise to it, I think, you know, it's a piece of history. It happened. It's documented. Yeah, the investigation's ongoing. We're going to learn more about the motive and this and that. The one thing we know for sure is that it was an absolute fail by the Secret Service, complete fail. Never should have happened, and we'll keep it at that, and we're going to keep it moving to the Chinese military.
Yeah, so this is kind of a crazy article that I came across. Chinese like civilian, a military buff, somehow buys 4 books of military secrets for under $1.
Wow.
So get this. Some of the people that were part of the Chinese military, they were assigned to get rid of all these precious like military secrets and destroy them, shred them, and do it like that. But, you know, they figured they would try to make a little bit of pocket money. They'd try to make some money by like recycling, like giving these books to a recycling thing and like making some money off of it. So one civilian in China was just like, hey, this looks kind of interesting. He saw them like in the bottom of a bag or something like these books, and he bought them for under $1. And he goes into these books and starts finding quote unquote let me see here, but if someone were to if someone with ulterior motives were to buy them, so not a Chinese citizen, the consequences would be unimaginable. So just imagine this military enthusiast like reading through this stuff and then realizing that these documents are modern, and then being like, holy crap, like if people knew this, they could totally pick apart the Chinese military, and like who knows what's in there. So either way, he reports this. They do get a hold of the books, and they seize the books. The military closes all the loopholes in the handling of such material, and that's like the whole story. So kind of what we were curious and talking about prior to recording, you know, because this guy had a news article about him, and he knew this information. So does the Chinese government like pay him a bunch of money for like hush money for the rest of the life, or do they put him in one of their mini concentration camps? Or like, you know, what happened to this guy? I don't know what happened to this guy, and that's kind of my concern right now.
Well, the fact that, you know, information like this could even be available in a recycling swap meet, if you will, is like, how did it get to that point?
Yeah.
If you have classified information, and you let it get into a position where it can be sold for pennies on the dollar at a swap recycling meet, I mean, something went wrong to begin with. Whoever had that information, that pertinent information to begin with, didn't protect it properly.
No.
For it to end up in this feller didn't do anything wrong. He was just
No.
like, this is cool stuff. I want to, gobble it up, take a look. And
Well, it sounds like he reported it. So,
Yep.
like, according to the Chinese government, like, he did the right thing.
He did the right thing, because like you said, if he didn't, or if he utilized or gave that information to say you or I, who knows? I mean, that could have ended up badly.
It could have. It's just another example of how all of the actions that we take have consequences in life, and we got to deal with it. And I bet you the people who let that secret information out that they didn't shred it, maybe they ended up getting shredded.
They could be on the missing persons report. It's interesting how that happens when things like this break, but that's just the way it goes. Interesting story, Art.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is. All right, we're going to keep moving to my random records. David Rush he's off. He's still...
What's going on,
He's
Rush?
on vacay. He's enjoying... He's enjoying being tied with Silvio Saba. He's just not putting up the numbers. We really expected him to crush past those numbers. So stand by for that. But hey,
I'm a little nervous that he's just okay with the tie.
You think?
Like, why? Why okay with the tie, Rush?
I think he's got something big planned.
Hopefully.
I think he's taking a little breaks. He went hard there. He was breaking 2-3 records a week.
I know, but why would you stop that momentum? Sometimes, like, when you quit, it's like, damn, I can't believe I was doing it like that. I don't know if I could get back to that level. Because he's definitely not as young as he was.
Right.
Like, every single day we get older. So it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Strike while the iron's hot, or whatever the old saying is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Something like that.
That's
I don't know.
it.
I probably doctored a bit. But in any case, that opened the door for a new random record breaker this week. And this week we have a 31-year-old California woman by the name of Kanya Sesser. And this is pretty cool. I would encourage the viewers to scroll down, click the link, watch the video. So basically set a new skateboarding handstand record.
Okay.
I have a hard enough time just standing on a skateboard, let alone doing a handstand on one. I don't think I'd be able to pull that off. But in any case, 19.65 seconds, new record. And this, she is a former Paralympic athlete, so done a lot of things, being that paraplegic, so no legs, but was still able to go out there and own it with what she did have, and that's her arms and the rest of her torso, put it out there and crushed world records. So, all these people that complain about how they can't do things because they're not fast enough, strong enough, whatever. This is an individual who doesn't even have legs, and went out there and just broke a world record by using other parts of her body.
I'm surprised it's not more than 19.65 seconds, honestly, because, like, in the video I was watching, she looks really comfortable. It looks like she's on the skateboard often, but not doing a handstand, more like on her torso, moving around like that. And it's just, not allowing limitations in your own life to limit your life. That's something that she really does show here. And she, like, talks about how the skateboard's an extension of herself, moving around and, like, having that freedom. You're the only person who sets limitations up in your own life. And so all the shit that you're dealing with is your own fault. The quicker we can accept what is going on and what we are and things like that, the faster that we can actually make meaningful changes in our existence to become better people and help the people around us.
I agree with that 100%. And, taking the hand you're dealt, right? This is, again, an individual that's paraplegic and was able to go out there and still crush it as an athlete and do certain things because she owned who she is, right? And took it out there. We saw earlier this week in the Olympics, not a good situation. Not a good situation. We had female boxing with a trans athlete that identified as a female fighting
M to W.
Yep. And it didn't end well. It ended pretty much as we expected. It was an unfair match. So when I say, play the hand you're dealt, play the hand you're dealt. You're a biological person, stay in that sport. That's my opinion on that, and I think that needs to be addressed at a bigger level. Now that we've seen it on a global scale in the Olympics, I don't like it.
Why not just have, like, a trans Olympics section where it's just trans people competing against other trans people?
Yeah, I think that...
Because look, if somebody was a male, then physically they are... And even, Jenner... Like, she was Bruce, who went to... Caitlyn Jenner agrees with this statement, and this is a trans person who agrees with this statement.
True.
She won all of her gold medals when she was a man competing against men, and right now she does not agree that she should be able to compete against women when she has the physique of a man and did a sex change. So even though it's a sensitive subject, get over it, because this Italian boxer female who practiced her whole life, got her ass handed to her by an M to F who probably shouldn't have been competing against them in the first place. It's absolutely ludicrous in my mind.
Yeah, it is. And I think a lot of folks will agree with us on that. I mean, it's not. This is an anti-trans statement. This is just simply. This is more of a pro-woman statement, because I feel like women are really being attacked the most here when it comes to athletic sports. These are women that are going out there and giving it their best. They are at an Olympic level, and you're putting them up against a man. I mean, it's just an unfair advantage. It's an unfair advantage. So, just on the topic of athletes, look. Canada's doing amazing things. She's running with it. She's owning the fact that she doesn't have legs. She's owning it. Just own who you are. Go out there and compete at the best level. Don't try and, get into other categories that, frankly, you don't belong in. And shame on the Olympics for allowing it.
Yeah, that's a whole powder keg of a subject. We could spend the rest of the show on that.
Hey, I told you in the beginning we might get canceled on this one.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay, because it doesn't matter. The Who Cares movement is strong in this studio right now. And what we're moving next into is the Would You Rather. And who cares more about Apple or Android was the last Would You Rather last week. Kev, you got the results.
Yes, the Would You Rather poll results from our Twitter X at Happy Fry USA over there if you want to take the polls. We asked the viewers, would you rather basically go with Microsoft or Apple products? I took Microsoft, of course, for various reasons I broke down last week. We asked America, and America was unanimous 100%.
100%?
Going Apple.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sad.
I was not expecting 100%.
No, I was expecting a little bit, like 75-25 I would have been okay with.
Yeah.
I knew Apple was probably going to win, but man, Microsoft got smoked in that poll.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you, everybody, for your participation on X, and we're going to keep it moving with kind of a weird food. Like, if you could only eat one of these types of foods for the rest of your life, which one are you going to pick? You could only eat wet cat food. Okay, so it's the wet food, it's the cat food, but you could get like different cans, different meow meow mix wet cat food flavors. So you could try whatever cat food you want, but it's the wet cat food is what you're eating for the rest of your life. Or are you going to eat insects for the rest of your life? Now, you can bake the insects, you could cook them any way you want, you could eat the insects raw, but you're only eating insects. There's a couple different paths that I want to talk about on this.
It's a really interesting Would You Rather. But that's the point, right? It's supposed to be challenging, so where like you really aren't happy with either option. The wet cat food seems like the easy go-to, right? Because it's fit for human consumption. It has to be sold that way. During recession, cat food sales go up because people can't afford to eat, so they eat cheaper cat food. So I can see the argument there. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be wild here and go back to my Bear Grylls instincts. I'm taking the insects.
Yeah.
And I've seen in a lot of cultures, including on our show, we talk about Grand Tour. Those guys go to these cultures and they try crickets and grasshoppers and dragonflies, and they actually make them seem kind of good.
Yeah.
If they're prepared properly, they're fried, baked, whatever, like you said, any which way you prefer them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the insects on this one.
Yeah, on this one, you're the easier, probably better tasting, and maybe less, like it's less grossing me out, is the cat food. However, health-wise, the raw insects are probably way healthier for you than all the shit that's in cat food.
I would agree.
Right? So, part of me wants to go the easy route, go cat food, but I'm actually going insects on this one too. I'm going to eat them on a stick. I'm going to fry them. I'm going to try them different ways. And I'll probably end up loving insects. I haven't really ate too much of them. I haven't really ate too much cat food either. But I'm gonna go with the insects on this one, man.
I'm taking the insects on the Would You Rather. I just, the wet cat food seems like the easy go-to.
So what do you think would be your favorite insect? Like, you're like, all right, tonight's a delicacy. We're
going dragonflies, baby.
Dragonflies the delicacy.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think that one jumps out. I'm sure there's others.
What if you're in Rochester, New York or something? They're getting like fucking hammered by dragonflies right now.
Are they?
Somewhere up there, there's like just like the cicadas were coming out.
The bees.
Yeah, the fucking dragonflies are out in New York right now.
Dragonflies are probably a little bit tasty, and just like the beetle or the grub worms, like that big old sucker that Bear Grylls ate and like juiced out. It's like
See, I think that would actually probably be pretty good cooked.
They say it tastes like cream corn when it's cooked.
Cream corn.
Haven't tried it. I'm just
coming from Sweet Corn Kev.
From Sweet Corn Kev. Still not sure why I'm called that, but that's a good one. I'm taking the insects. Where are you going, America?
I'm going insects. Yeah. What are you guys picking?
All right. So yeah, be sure to drop a comment below. Go to the Twitter poll. Get involved. Are you going insects or cat food? Moving it back to my roots over there in New England. Crustaceans did not make the list on the Would You Rather, so lobster was not available for a choice. However, a really cool shimmering lobster was found just off a couple hundred miles from where I was a young lad, grew up in between Maine and New Hampshire. They found a rare cotton candy lobster. Now, this thing's pretty cool. Obviously, you need to go see it. So scroll down, click this link. Very rare. They're 1 in 100 million.
Okay.
And there's a lot of lobster fishing going on the coast of New England. I mean, that's where 85% of the lobster that all your lobster tails and all that deliciousness come from. And this is a delicacy right here, buddy. It's got the pink, the purple, the blue, the orange. It's just, you don't see, typically you picture a lobster as being kind of off red, orangey, you know.
So do they keep this thing alive, or do they like take it and like sell it to the highest bidder?
Well, what are you going to do with it then at that point as a bidder?
Like you take it and then you get to eat a super rare cotton candy lobster.
Well, I mean, I think it tastes the same.
It probably tastes the same.
It's like an albino situation or you know, different colorations, but they're cool. 1 in 100 million. Think about that. That's not very. I mean, that's like lottery odds.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're a little bit worse than that, but it's rare. Is the thing. But you got to see it. You got to scroll down. You got to see this lobster. Cotton candy, they call it. If you showed it to me, I wouldn't think cotton candy. That's not it's not
the thing in rainbow.
Yeah, well, it just cotton candy. I think very vibrant, vivid blues and
how about like
pink.
when that one person is changing their car in the neighborhood, or like they're doing something and then like you get that like oily looking water.
Oh, the kind of rainbowy.
Yeah, that has like the different colors.
Oily rainbow water.
Yeah, is that kind of what it looks like?
Yeah, it's like an oily rainbow water lobster.
Okay.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, cotton candy. They're trying to make it sound so appealing by calling it cotton candy.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like cotton candy, folks. I mean, I don't know. I haven't tasted it.
And does it look like cotton candy? I don't know. You got to go down in the show notes and click that link to see.
Yeah, take a look. We got cotton candy lobsters out there in New England. That's a happy Friday right there, folks.
It is a happy Friday. You know, those people were happy with, look, all of the stuff that's happening in the world right now. We got elections coming up in the United States, and I did just want to take a quick moment to recognize Venezuela and that election getting stolen from the opposition. I do support the opposition on that. It's not a good situation. There's a lot of stress in the world right now. And my heart is with the people of Venezuela fighting for their freedom. But I wanted to cover a couple of different ways to reduce stress, because obviously it's coming at us from all angles.
Yes.
So there's 25 different things on this list, a lot of ones that you would expect, like going for a walk or taking deep breaths. Like, we all kind of know those ones. So I wanted to point out a couple of the ones here that I didn't quite expect. So the first one was sip green tea that I saw. So apparently,
I've heard that.
Really, I've never heard about this one. So it's a good source of L-theanine, and that's a chemical that helps relieve anger. So you boil the water, pour it out, and take a soothing sip of that nice green tea.
Yummy.
Another one is you could drip cold water onto your wrists.
Yeah, I didn't know that one.
I never heard of that one before. So when stress hits, head to the bathroom and drop some water on the skin. So cooling, these areas can help calm the whole body. You know, probably because you can see your veins pretty good right there.
Yeah.
And so it like helps cool your blood and like actually helps cool you down a little bit. That's why I'm guessing there.
Could be.
I was under, like, we got end of month pressures and quotas. So I actually took this advice today, slurp some honey. So I went and got me a teaspoon of honey after I read this article today.
Good honey, though, right?
Yeah, it was good honey. It was pretty good. But so drowning the stress and sweetness with some honey. Beyond being a natural skin moisturizer and antibiotic, honey also provides compounds that reduce inflammation in the brain, meaning it fights depression and anxiety with the sweet, sweet nectar that our honeybees make for us. Another one, find the sun. Get out in the sun. It will help lift your spirits. That goes hand in hand with going for a walk and physical activity. Helps get that vitamin D and removes yourself from whatever situation you're in. Just go outside for a minute. And then one that I had to put in here, and look, this one is only for people who have found themselves and appreciate some solitude time. Be alone. Even 5 minutes alone can really help you disconnect with the jumble in your mind and recenter yourself to go handling the situation. That's just a couple of the things that stood out to me on reducing stress, and we can all use it.
We can definitely use it. There's a lot of stress going on, you know. People are fired up a lot. They're reading all the bullshit that's going on around the world. They're probably, listening to this program and they're like, man, now I'm all fired up.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to happen. So stress relief, I mean, any which way we can find to do that. And I like those remedies, They didn't, no substance abuse, no jerking off, none of that made the list.
No.
So that's good. Good, natural, healthy ways to relieve stress. I'm going to try the water on the wrist.
Yeah, catch me in the bathroom after my next fucking, after my next conundrum. I'm going to be in there dripping water.
I could just picture some guy going in there, little drips on his wrist. You might think he's doing drugs or something. It's like, hey, man, you all right? He's like, yo, calm down. I'm just trying to de-stress,
I'm
bro.
just dripping my wrist right now.
Get that wrist drip going,
Yo,
baby.
like talking to somebody that's like kind of side-handed. You're all like, yeah, you seem like you could use some water on your wrist. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Why don't you take 5 and go drip some water on that wrist, boy?
Go drip your wrist,
Like, what the
okay?
hell is this guy talking about? Well, I'll tell you this. If you want to get your stress level high back up, you go take a selfie with that stress-depressed lemon zest, baby. That black bear down in Florida.
What?
We got a Florida man on the line here. This is crazy shit. So, typical, they always say, these people in this article are the same people that are taking pictures with bison up in Montana.
Yeah.
Okay? There is a bear roaming the streets of Florida man, and people are taking selfies with it because that's what we do. As a society, we take pictures with things that are happening, and this bear is not having it. He's not happy with it. He's been patient for long enough, but people keep pushing the envelope. This bear's going viral. Okay. He's got his little domain, and I kind of learned some things here about black bears. They're with their moms as a cub through their early months after hibernation, birthing, all that. And this is the time of year where the black bears leave their moms and they go try to find their own way. And this bear found his little spot off a very populated road in Florida, and everyone started taking selfies with him. So, eventually it got to the point where the Florida Wildlife Conservation had to jump in and say, guys, you got to tighten up here. You can't keep stressing this bear out because eventually this thing's going to attack one of you, and that's on you. Mm-hmm. I think that's people get all, people jumping into zoo exhibits and all this shit, and then they're getting torn up by this incredible animal. What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, it's a little funny, like people are it's a depressed bear, So depression, there's phases to depression. Like you're sad, and then you get angry, and then you make a change, and the change is clawing the Instagram influencer that felt like the bear needed a hug.
Yeah.
Like somebody's gonna take it too far and get too comfortable. It's still a wild animal. Who came up with this depressed lemon zest?
I'm not sure, but it rolled off the tongue really well.
Stress-depressed lemon zest.
After our
bear.
previous article, that worked well.
Yeah, no, what is that? Like, what are these people giving this guy lemon zest? Like, where did the lemon zest come from?
Yeah, these weren't my words. This is in the article that the onlookers described it as a stress-depressed lemon zest and urged the public not to approach it.
What would you just describe as lemon zest? Like, as an emotion?
I've never really heard that as an emotion. I heard it more as a lemon zest, like on your drink or on your food.
And that's usually like a good thing.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Lemon zest, citrusy, it's bright. So I don't know what they meant by that exactly, other than that it rolled off the tongue well. But if you see pictures of the bear in some of the photos, you'll see why they consider it a depressed bear. He does have a very just serious look on his face. He's kind of sitting there like, the fuck does this go on, And described as a male bear who's left his mama, right? He's on his own. So maybe he's just having a little bit of empty nest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, empty nest with no lemon zest, depressed and stressed. But here's the thing, man, is we got to respect our wildlife because, look, this animal is going to get put down if it hurts somebody, and it's going to be their fault. So let's try to avoid that. And, yeah, like Kevin was saying, call back to maybe a year and a half ago when we were talking about people in Yellowstone National Park taking pictures with the animals. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen? It's like, you climb in with the crocodiles and then you wonder why you have your leg ripped off.
Yeah, come on, man. Y'all sound like cat food eaters to me.
Yeah, you need to tighten up. Drip some water on them wrists. Leave the damn bear alone, I mean, that's where we're at. Leave the bear alone. Makes for obviously a funny topic we're talking about here on Happy Friday America, but I figured that would be a good way to close the show.
That is a good one, and shit to do this weekend. First, we got R&B Rooftop Brunch, and that's in ATL, Georgia. That's happening tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. How is that brunch? Maybe you could get in there earlier for that.
Yeah,
that should be a good time. That should be a good time.
It's definitely, it's just an excuse for him to call it brunch and then an all-day party.
Yes.
Down in Hot Atlanta, check that out. One of my favorite bands of all time. Going to Gillette Stadium, home of my New England Patriots. They are there all weekend. Metallica ripping it up. I doubt there's any tickets available, but, man, Metallica is badass.
Yeah, I mean, one of the greats, and then, like, the sobriety and everything that sticking to it and impactfully changing their own lives, that is strength.
Beautiful.
We got the Shindig Music Festival in Harmony, Pennsylvania coming up this weekend. Boot Scootin' Boogie out on that dirt dance floor. It'll be a great time.
It will be. A lot of fun things going on. It's August. A lot of back to school, I'm sure, is going on. People are watching the Olympics. Still no NASCAR this weekend, Art. This is our last weekend off before the mad dash through the playoffs to Phoenix. So
well, enjoy some extra time while you got it.
I'm going to enjoy this final weekend with no NASCAR before we get back at it, but I already miss it. Who's kidding who?
Yeah, who's kidding who? Look, football's coming in soon, so you got that as a replacement. Everybody, thanks for tuning in on this Happy Friday America episode. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're going to keep coming at you next week. Check us out on X, Happy Fry USA, Instagram, Facebook, Happy Friday USA. Send us an email, happyfridayamerica@gmail.com, and we're going to keep it rocking, America.